Right guys, so we're back in the garage again. It is an absolute tip in here. I'm struggling to move absolutely everywhere, but this is the bike that got me the win at round one. A couple of bits of learning I've had on it, and a couple of accidents, I suppose. I've split a CV boot, so I've just stripped that front end down, and I'll swap the CV boot. Well, I'll get my dad to, because I don't like doing them. It's had its first wash. I always do the first wash with everything on it, and then I strip it down, and then do all the maintenance I need to do, and then I'll wash it again, and then put it all back together. So it'll go out like this, but obviously rolling, and I'll give it a wash after I've done all my maintenance as such. So yeah, took the win on it round one. Couple of bits of change I need to make. Suspension was really good, bar a few minor setup issues. Kept getting booked around a lot in the back, so I believe I need to turn the rebound down a touch. The front could do with a higher spring rate, which I have got, I believe. I swapped and did a K&N filter on this one, for the air filter, and I've looked inside it since. I'll put a picture on. Really good. Really good. No dirt on the inside of the filter, which you'd expect or you'd hope from an air filter, but no, nothing like that. Really dusty on the outside. I've got some pictures of that as well. In terms of all the other bikes, we are getting closer and closer every day. So I've had some throttle body gaskets come in, and they are for that one, so I could put some throttle bodies on that and get that up for sale sharpish. I have a couple of bits in the works here, as you may be able to tell. This one, so supposedly the main race machine for this year. Engine seals are done. I've just got to put a starter motor on it. But the main bit I am waiting on for this is a J Parts prop shaft. Not prop shaft. Gearbox input shaft. So if you can see there, they are bent. They're not meant to be like that. So that means I need to get that apart completely, remove that shaft, swap the bearing while I'm in there, because why not? I'm going to put a new bearing on it obviously while I'm there. And then that then can go and get remounted up to that gearbox and back in this bike. I have a little to-do list along with tidying up the garage as I go. So for the bike I've just ridden, it'll be tighten, grease, bleed the brakes, check the pads, just various different bits to do. One other issue I'll put a picture on. Sorry, I'll finish this and I'll tell you. Pink one, I need to get the suspension refilled with nitrogen and fit the brakes. This one is fill the throttle body gaskets and then test my intake. But what I was just about to tell you was, on this one here, last year we welded in a skid plate, well, a removable skid plate, so it's got a frame around the outside and then that bolts on. However, Rick Checo does something very similar to this. This is where I got the idea from. But his has like a dip in it, for obvious reasons, now I know. So under here, there is the oil filter. You probably won't be able to see. It's around the other side. Just give me 2 seconds. Right then, hopefully that light doesn't bugger the video up too much. Anyway, I'll just use that light actually. There is said oil filter, right there. But underneath, it has now got some dimples in it. Which is from, so the belly pan that I've just shown you bolts on there, obviously some stones or some mud or anything's got underneath it, and as the engine's gone up and down and vibrated, it's dented some holes, not holes, but put some dimples in the oil filter. So what I'm going to do for that is, I'm going to bolt that back on, trace out round where the oil filter goes, cut it out, and get a bigger piece, weld it back on, so I'll have probably a 5 or 6 mil gap. And then I'm going to glue some foam under the engine, which will then stop mud or stones or dirt from collecting under there, and that will alleviate that issue. But I also managed to do a engine mount or gearbox mount bushing. The rubber's just peeled off. I believe we haven't got the angle spot on with that when we've welded it back up, but I've got a couple spare, so that shouldn't matter too much. Other than that, I've been keeping a suspension and tyre log for this year, for testing and everything like, so I've been marking down all my settings and everything like that. So I've updated that, but I just need to find out what rebound setting I am at. Brakes, this is just a really in-depth overview, I suppose. Really good. I've got my rears on the right, my fronts on the left. I used to do it the other way around because in the UK, fronts, when you riding a mountain bike or a road bike or something like that, your front brake's on the right and it's normally your clutch on the left. Or on a mountain bike where you've got two brakes, your rear brake's on the left. However, when trying to throttle and front brake, it was a bit hard. So I come into the corner, set up with that, then get onto the front brake to do the main slowing down. I can use the throttle to control myself around the corner. And that is about it, apart from one other issue. I had a small electrical fire. Maybe not fire, but I had some burnt wires, which is this now. Some wires had rubbed across the battery terminals, shorted, and it had burnt all the insulation back on the wire. I believe it's burnt even further back than that, but that's as far back as I can go. So if I've got any information for anyone, it's keep your battery area tidy and make sure your battery's secure and not moving like mine does. And that is about it, I believe. We used again the ITP Baja Cross, which are kindly supplied by Tyreline, on some IT wheels for this one. Works very well. Stuck with the dusty conditions really well, and they were really rocky, and it feels like it's not really taken much of the edge off them, so they're quite a hard yet forgiving tyre in a way, which is quite nice. Just greased and tightened it all, so that bike is well on the way to being re-prepped. Again, like I say, just need to tidy up this absolute diabolical mess of a garage. We have also some other nice bits coming for that. I've got a new Quad-Tech seat cover coming from the US, which once it's over here, I will have my logo put on it, like I did with my previous one. I just think it's a nice touch. Just adds a nice bit of personalisation to the bike. And then I think it's just all hands on deck, getting rid of parts and putting them on bikes after that. I've got 3 weeks now. From this weekend, it'll be 3 weeks to the next round of the British Championship at I call it Chacombe. It's Seals Hill Farm. Yeah, that's a lovely track. Very rough again, but nowhere near as rough as what we've just done. If you've watched the video, you'll see it was just dusty, rough, and more a battle of survival than anything, which is not really what you want for the first race. So I don't think we got to see anybody's full racing ability. Unfortunately, Luke Forrester, who was in my class in the championship, had a nasty accident and his bike caught fire, which is awful. It were awful to see. So hopefully he's doing all right, and hopefully he can get something sorted to carry on racing. But other than that, I'm looking forward to round 2 and hoping, fingers crossed, to take another win. I mean, that was only my second win in the British Championship ever, so hopefully we can keep them rolling. I'm optimistic, however slightly sceptical that will be ready for then. There's just a lot to do around the whole garage. I'll have that finished prepped this week, so it can be all hands on deck with that as soon as the parts arrive from the States. I think that is about it. I've said that about 4 times now, but I think that is actually about it. So I'll catch up with you all later for whoever watches these. And if there's anything you want to see, because I've had a few messages If there's anything you want to see, or whether it's how we strengthen frames, what setup we use, do we tow the bike in, tow the bike out, anything to do with suspension, I mean, I already put something up. I have got something in the works on brakes, like I've said. Brakes and 12-inch rims sort of go hand in hand. Other than that, once my idea of intakes is done, I will be hitting the dyno, and we can get some official power results for a Scrambler, because everybody claims lots of numbers, like everybody wants to do, because everybody wants the most horsepower. But until someone proves the dyno sheet, it's all a lie in my eyes. So without dyno sheets, it's not proven. And that's at the wheels, and want a before and an after to see what you actually gain, because people's dynos aren't exactly calibrated. I mean, some guy said he had just over 100 horsepower out of a Scrambler 850 last year, or the year before, which was sceptical to say the least. But anyway, I'll be putting mine on. I won't just be putting the one on, I'll be putting two on, potentially the third as well. But that engine there is the quickest thing I've ever felt on a Scrambler. So I'm sure, hopefully, the dyno results will replicate that. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble, and I shall see you soon.